There's only one thing worse than eating alone, and that's figuring out how to meal plan for one person, shop for one person, and do it on a budget. In this video, I'm gonna show you how I meal plan for myself. You may or may not know my husband's in the military and he's gone a lot. So that means that I have to eat by myself and shop for myself while he's away. And since he comes in and out, it's been quite a learning experience for me to figure out how to save money and still be able to eat and not waste food by cooking so much. At the end of this video, I'm going to show you how I shopped within my budget for $100 for about 2 weeks of groceries. The first thing that I do once I decide that I need to go shopping is make a plan. So I literally go around to my fridge and my pantry and write down everything that I have. And then I think about what can that be in a meal. For instance, I've had a couple of packs of frozen ground turkey that I got from Costco a while back, and they've still been sitting there. Thought that I can make some turkey meatloaf, some turkey meatballs, and also use it for tacos. So those are 3 things that I can make already with what I have and just buy the ingredients for, which will end up being a lot cheaper. Once I figure out what I have and what I could get, I find inspiration. You can do this through magazines or cookbooks or TV or social media. I also draw inspiration from my own hunger. But the best way that I find inspiration for meals is Pinterest. I literally type in healthy dinners, budget dinners, vegan meals, whatever comes up, whatever I'm thinking about, and just go through everybody's pins and just look at what's there. I don't necessarily grab recipes from this, just mostly ideas like, oh, I forgot, I can make tacos, that's a thing, or enchiladas, that's also a thing. I find myself craving a lot more different foods when I'm alone, and I don't know if that's just sadness or if it's just knowing that I have the time and total freedom to be able to eat whatever I want. One of the things that I have been doing is if I want something sweet or a dessert type thing, then I have to make it myself. And that usually means from scratch, not a box mix or anything like that, because then it forces me to appreciate the process and not abuse the food that comes out of it. The next thing I do is write out exactly what I want for breakfast and then lunch and dinner. Since lunch and dinner are pretty much the same thing for me, because I can have whatever I have for lunch for dinner, I just put 2 columns. So whatever I can eat for breakfast and whatever I can eat for lunch and dinner. So I have those 2 columns, and then they're written out on the back of the piece of paper where my grocery list is. So then I write a detailed grocery list. So this is split up between produce, proteins, grains, dairy, however you want to do it, or however maybe your grocery store is split up. You can put everything in its category so that you don't forget things, and while you're in one section, you just get everything in that section. These items are drawn from the meal list and the ingredients that would go along with them. The next thing I do is set a budget for the trip. It's really easy for me to spend a lot on food because I love food. I'm a chef. I eat out all the time. Any disposable income that I have goes to food, really, honestly. So it helps me to set a particular dollar amount to make each trip with. And I change that amount depending on how much meat I have or how much of a particular ingredient I have. If I already have a lot more meat here, then the shopping trip is going to be way less. Or if it's kind of a catch-all trip, which means, you know, I do one big grocery shop and then a week and a half later it's just catching up on those little things that have run out, then obviously the grocery budget is going to be smaller. For me, in about 2 weeks, I will say that I can probably get away with $100. This may seem like a lot because it's just me, but I do live in Hawaii and the food is very expensive. It helps for me to shop at farmers markets, and I am lucky enough to be able to go to the commissary to get all of our food. Even then, it's not much cheaper than a regular grocery store, but it does make a difference. The last thing that I want to say about how I meal plan is to allow for some flexibility. For me, it means that I am going to plan to go out to eat at least once or twice a week, or more if I'm particularly busy that week. The second thing it means for me is being a little bit flexible in the money. When I go grocery shopping, I be sure that I leave a little bit of money aside for something that I've been craving that's not necessarily on my list. You know what happens. You know you're not gonna 100% stick to everything, and I'd rather buy what I want at the store that looks like a fun snack than go out and get it later. Once you plan your meals, set a budget, write everything down, and shop, I write all of the meals down on a whiteboard that's on the fridge. And the reason for this is when I'm hungry or I get caught up in something and all of a sudden I'm starving and I'm thinking about getting something fast or going out to grab a snack or something, I look at the list that's on the fridge and I look what's there and see what can be made quickly. Knowing what's available at all times really helps. Once I'm ready to cook and it's a bigger type meal and not just a salad or something for breakfast, I make sure that I make up to 3 portions of it, because I find that the next day it's easier for me to just heat it up and keep going. And what I also do when I cook something like a meat or a protein is make sure that I have rice or noodles or vegetables on hand so that it doesn't get boring. So if I have turkey meatballs with pasta 3 times in a row, it's gonna get boring. But if I change it up and have it with rice and vegetables or have it with a salad, then it's easier for me to eat all of it rather than get so sick of it that I end up having to throw it out because it's been sitting there forever. So without further ado, here is my grocery haul. And since our apartment complex does not have shopping carts and we live on the 22nd floor, I'm bringing our little sport cart that we got at Sports Authority with a lot of reusable bags because they did pass the law in Hawaii where they don't give out bags anymore unless they're environmentally friendly. And I also brought some water to keep me from buying a drink while I'm out there because that's what I usually do. Here's my sustenance for the next couple weeks in all its glory. As you can tell, not all of it is healthy, and what I've learned is that eating completely healthy at this time right now, especially since counting my macros, I start craving stuff like this, like pizza and chips and bagels, so I feel like it's a good time for me to just have it. This is the receipt from that trip. I spent $97.07, and actually I want to say that it's $99.07 because I did give a $2 tip to the baggers at the end. They only work for tips, so I'd be sure to have a couple dollars on me no matter what to give them something, even if it's just one bag. If you have any tips for meal planning or budget cooking for one, or there's a video about it that you really enjoyed, I really like those things, so make sure you leave them below in the comments. If you like this video and you want more grocery hauls or anything else that you can suggest, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video.